Test, Test, Test. Test. Test, Test. Test, 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 Test. Test, 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 Test. Test, 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 Test. Test, 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 Test. Test. So. Line, noise remover, room echo remover. Broadcast. Zack. Test, Test, Test. Bla 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 bla. Broadcast. Zack. Test, Test, Test. Bla 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 bla. Ein Traum. Bla 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 bla. Ein Traum. Alright, so references are set up. We have a top view, bottom view, side view, front and back view. And then I like to disable, let's say, the bottom because it's stuck with the top, and we don't need front and back. So the size should be correct. And then I always just, open Purif and run some references just so we have the Wii remote from the few different angles. But it's a relatively, it's like it's a weird thing, the Wii remote. It's actually quite a weird shape, but it should be pretty simple to model, I think. I don't think there should be any major problems. The only thing that's going to be a bit annoying to do is probably the plug of the Wii remote, like this thing here. We'll need some detailed references. Or actually, now that I think about it, I do have Wii remotes lying around, so why do I not just... I'll be right back. I am not... I don't know why I just didn't bring my own remote. Right. I have it. I love when you have like the object that you're actually modeling. It makes it like 1,000 times easier. And I think we'll also model the inside of it as well, which will be super complex. We'll definitely model inside, yeah. And throw in some batteries. Yeah. But yeah, let's just get started with this. Okay, simple plane. I like to start with planes. I'm just noticing this isn't center, so we should probably center this. And I assume the bottom isn't centered either. Yeah, it isn't. Sure what I did there. Alright, here we go again. Let's make a plane. I like starting with planes on a cube because I like working my way up from 0, and so I like to start with just a single plane and not a cube. Like if I start with a cube, like it doesn't really help me here because, you know, I'm starting with the top part, so I just need like a 2D plane, so that's fine. So I'm just gonna use the scale here so we get, you know, the correct length to, you know, both sides. And we might be able to use a mirror. I'm not sure if this is... No, this isn't really mirrored, so it doesn't make sense to use a mirror here. We can use one like this though. So, like so. I always work with mirrors, but, you know, sometimes I apply stuff and then I apply the mirror and then I bring it back again. It's just like a back and forth. So these edges, like hard surface edges, these rounded ones, are super tricky. Well, you know, tricky, but you know, I feel like when I started 3D modeling, I tended to always use subdivision surface right away, but you don't really need it here because you can just use a simple bevel. So I'm gonna go ahead and scale this all the way to here. And I'm just gonna bevel this with like Control Shift B. Control Shift B basically bevels just vertices instead of edges. So, and actually we want to get this right, so let's make sure this is, you know, the correct length. We aren't doing like a technical model, so it doesn't need to be completely perfect, so it's fine. So let's bevel this. And yeah, you might think that this is, you know, kind of illegal because we have angons all over the place now. But it's actually fine. With hard surface stuff like this, especially like a Wii remote, like it has some curves, which we'll take care of. But the top part of the Wii remote, which is this part here, this is just like one piece. It's one piece. It's like not attached to this one, so we don't need any loops here. And so yeah, it doesn't matter. It's like flat. It has a bit. I can't talk anymore. It's very flat. It has just a few bevels, so it doesn't matter if we, you know, have angles here. So I'm gonna go into the side view. I'm just gonna scale this down. And I'm wondering now if I can do this with proportional edit or if I should go back and wait for the bevel. Yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna go back actually and do the bevel afterwards. See, you kind of have to think about it, not like me and just jump right into it. Think about what makes sense, and you know, so we just scale this down. And okay, this is weird. My Wii remote doesn't have this, and well, no wait, yeah, it actually has. Okay, but this is, yeah, this is just the bottom part, so it doesn't matter. And then we're gonna enable the front part as well. Again, we have to realign this too, which is annoying. Yeah, then we just pull this down. And let's get the back. Okay, let's just enable opacity, right? Let's align it. So did I? Yeah, I did this with the wrong side. That's very annoying. No, I did it with both sides. Yeah. Okay, then it's fine. So now we select the back. Just pull it up again. Let's just... fine. We can do this part afterwards. And now we can use a bevel modifier. Actually, we don't need to do it with Control B. We delete this face in the middle. Yeah, we don't need this bottom part either. And then we apply the scale just in case, and turn on hard normals and turn off the clamping. And now we just sort of try to match it. This line should be around here. A bit less. Yeah, something like this, and then we, increase this. And, don't be afraid to add, like, tons of edges. It's fine to go overboard, You don't want to be stuck with a mesh that, at the end doesn't have enough loops, and you like, go in and increase them manually or something. Yeah, okay. So we have our bevel. I like to approach things slowly, right? So just so we don't make any mistakes, I'm gonna turn off the back and go back to the front. Yeah. So this is like a, yeah, it's a hole in the plastic. Yeah. So we can actually go ahead and model this shape and then just use it as a boolean. And actually, while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and give all of them opacity, because they're kind of annoying. Like, can't look through them. Alright. Also mirror this, makes it a bit easier to work with. Yeah, so I'm just using Control Shift B here. And now we just extrude it, and yeah, make sure your normals are fixed as well. Now we apply the mirror. Feel like the edges are much. Yeah, and always make, look out for faces that are made here, like inside of the mirror. This happens often. And always double check if there's like doubles. No, it doesn't. And now we bevel this as well, so just that we have a round transition here. Okay, and yeah, I mean, we can go ahead and just do like the boolean already, just so we get a feeling for our model. And then I like to go into the viewport display and turn the boolean objects into like a wire view, and then maybe make a collection. Yeah, and I'm not gonna put a solidifier on this yet. But I am noticing something, and the problem is that this curvature is different than, this one. So we are just gonna do this manually, because we need this curvature, right? It's makes a lot of the whole object, and we're not gonna change it. Like, this will stay like this forever. We won't have to change it. So let's turn off the bevel and like the boolean. And let's select our edges, and we're just gonna do it manually. Before we do it, let's try it, and then we'll see. We'll think about how to do this. So I think, first of all, this comes up here. Let's turn on the Boolean. Let's see if this works out. Yes, it does. Okay, great. We might have to scale this down a bit. Just use a bit of proportional edit. It's like, it's not a big deal. Like, again, we're not making a technical object, a 3D object. We're just, making a Blender asset. It's not a card model. Yeah, this looks good. I'm happy with that. Am I in the correct version for the auto smooth thing? No. Okay, smooth by angle it is. And all right, now we have the top part, and we can go and add more booleans for all the buttons and stuff, but I like to lay out, the base shape of the model first, so I'm gonna do all these basic plastic thingies here. We can actually go ahead and reuse the shape here. Straighten this. Let's take a look how this is done. Okay, so I have a Wii remote in my hands as well, so I'm gonna take a look at that as well. Okay, so first, before we do it, we actually need to take care of the back here. Because we have this section here. This is wrong. I'm just edge sliding with double G and sliding it over. So I don't want any unnecessary loops here. So we don't need this one, and we could reroute this over here, but yeah, I think, or actually to the middle. No, we're gonna, yeah, once we have the mirror, we're gonna erase the middle. So let's just keep it like this for now. Because we don't want the loop to go here, because then we kind of want to do a full loop, and we don't need the full loop, so we're just gonna stop it right here, and it's fine. We can also actually bevel this manually, but I'm wondering if we already want to do that, so I think I'm gonna hold off on that for now. Yeah. Downwards, remove it, or separate it. Alright. So this shape is a lot more trickier than, the rest. You have to think about this. Actually turn off the Boolean thing here. Okay. I'm thinking, how do we do this best way? So actually, I think it's easier if we delete this back part, perhaps. Let's remove it for now. And just focus on this section here. So let's first set the correct height here. Yeah, like this. So, and then pull this up and slide it back a bit. So here's the button. Okay, the button doesn't really, it's booled, there's a boolean, there's basically a hole, and then the button is just, you know, mounted in there. So all we really need to do is get this curvature right. So let's extrude this to here because we have this, you know, this groove here. Slide this back. This. And yeah, now we just ignore the button. Sort of do the rough shape of the curvature here. Just wondering. Actually, do it like this, and then do it like this. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is a very weird shape. Not gonna lie. Well, it's not weird. It's just there's lots of bevels and curvatures, and I like to use just the modifiers as much as possible, because if we use Control B or Control Shift B, you know, it's sort of baked in there, and we lose the ability to go back on the bevel. So yeah, what you can do is here we can try and use like the weighting tool, which is really nice. It doesn't always work because sometimes the transitionings between the bevel weights aren't really nice. They don't really work out that well, but here it should be perfectly fine. So if we look at the V, and I'm not sure how well you can see this from the reference, but sort of the curvature has like this radius is like this thick, and then it sort of goes outwards, so the radius gets a bit thicker until it's finally this thick. So this is kind of the perfect, you know, situation to use the weights. We can't really do this with the Control B. If you like get the edges and press Control B to bevel it, this doesn't really work. And it's annoying, you know, you press Control B and then it's baked in there, and yeah, and then you can't really go back on that decision. So I'm just gonna set this to weights and go to item here, and here's the mean bevel weight, and this controls the weight of your bevel. And then we go and make this a lot larger than it needs to be, just so we can play nicer with the weighting. And then we can sort of adjust this. Just mess around with it. So you'll see that it's actually quite tricky to use it. Sometimes doesn't work that well. Let's maybe try setting it to the same value first. I think it has some issues with this bevel here. Yeah. This is always very enjoyable to work with. I think it shouldn't be a problem if we slide this edge over a bit. Yeah, I think this will work. Okay, so let's keep extruding this over here, and we'll take care of this later. We can also do this with a boolean, probably. Alright, let's see how much we need the bevel here. Something like this, yeah. This looks good. The bevel is kind of, the weighting is kind of tricky. Because instead of all, it blends it in a way so that it's sort of this edge affects the ones back here as well, which is kind of strange, but you'll see it's actually not that easy to get a great transition. But I think we are looking, well, okay, this is not this changed. Yeah, this is this is quite annoying to work with, not gonna lie. We might have to decrease the subdivisions here, unfortunately. But the ref is also kind of weird here. It's not like matching up with the actual height. Dang it, I hate it. I honestly hate references sometimes so much. Like, they rarely match up, which makes no sense. It's probably due to the way it's photographed, like the lens or the positioning is not completely perfect. So we just have to kind of guesstimate what it's gonna look, what it should look like. So rounding should be like this. This is just really annoying to use right now. Hmm. Let's try and see what happens if we reduce the poly count here. So you can actually do a checker select or deselect to reduce this. Yeah, now this, the bevel just merges this together. Yeah, that's quite tricky. Okay, interesting. Yeah, the behavior of it is kind of weird, not gonna lie. Yeah, it should be something like this without the bevel behaving like this here. This just adds this face strength. No, this is just a shading. I don't think there's really anything we can do here to fix this properly. Might have to add more mesh, perhaps. Let's just try and get this rounded part first, and then we'll worry about the bevel. Uh, look like this probably. We might have to do this manually after all. I kind of want to get this to work with the modifier, even though it kind of sucks, not gonna lie. Maybe let's remove this edge here actually, and just have it be one angle because it doesn't matter anyways. Maybe this fixes it. Yeah, this actually fixes it then. Okay, so it was sort of that edge. Probably. Let's see if... Let's not jinx it. uh, this isn't fully clean yet. Yeah, this is proving to be quite tricky. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I see. So edge count does help indeed. Hmm. Yeah, this is quite possible to use the modifier here. It's been quite annoying, not gonna lie. I really wanted to get this to work with the bevel modifier, but I feel like it won't be possible. Doesn't really work properly. Back here. It's quite messy. It's definitely because of the topology. It really depends on your like your edge flow and stuff. What if we Enable it here. Okay, that completely messes it up. Great. So we want this to be straight here, but we still kind of want the... Actually, how does this work? Let me take a look at the real object. Yeah, okay, it isn't straight in real life either. It sort of does a curve. Like so. Does a curve like this, so we could just try modeling it like that. I mean, the polyflow is kind of correct anyways, so I'm not sure why it's not working properly. Dang it. Actually, I think I know why and how to fix it. Could add more edges here. And then increase it here. Yeah, yeah. That seems to be the solution here. I think this looks decent. Let's get rid of a few edges here. Yeah, we still have a problem here, fortunately, but yeah, we can fix it. Yeah, I think we have it now, actually. This looks pretty good. I like this. It's quite tricky to use, but apparently the more like edges it has to hold on to, the better, which kind of makes sense. So I assume the way it works is give this edge its weight and it sort of transitions it from A to B here, no matter, well, without being influenced by the others, perhaps, or maybe yes. I'm not sure how the weight of this one completely relates to this one, so I'm not sure how this fully works yet, but I know that if I decrease this one, this gets sort of fixed. Right. Yeah. And too many edges also confuses it apparently, which is a bit annoying. I like to keep my beveling really high res, but I guess we can use subdivision surface here. I don't like using subdivision surface that much because it's sort of, you have to set up all the creasing, and if you don't, do it properly, then it will mess up all your curvatures, and it's just annoying. So we still have an angle here, which is probably not ideal. Let's see. Does this? No, this doesn't help. But I mean, it doesn't really interfere with our mesh here, so I guess it's fine. Yeah, I mean, this looks pretty good, not gonna lie. We might want to add... yeah, another one here just so we can... ah, okay, now this is messed up again. Damn, this is so annoying, I swear to God. Okay. Yeah, because I wanted this sort of low here. Ah, okay, so I have to add more, I see. This isn't perfect yet. I'm not too happy with it yet. Yeah, this looks fun. Okay, what's happening here? Oh, this is overlapping. We don't want that. Yeah, like so. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of working out, right? I'd say. But I'm really not happy with these subdivisions here yet. Uh, let's crank this down a bit. And then we add a subdivision surface at the end, which should resolve a few of the shading issues. We still have this here, which is caused by the Engon, so I'm wondering if we can just fix it like this. Okay. Triangulated. Okay, that messes it up really bad. But yeah, this is for later. We have the curvature and it looks pretty good. Like it spreads, it gets bigger, and yeah, I'm really happy with that. So now we have to either we just redo the bevel by just, you know, guessing, or we actually combine this now, which I think I'm gonna do. We can also turn off the bevel for now. So this is probably gonna mess with the bevel again, by the way, which is a bit annoying, but whatever. Here, fast, at last, right? Looking good. Now we pray. Okay, it's not messed up in the front, but I'm afraid that if I add more here, that it's gonna... this is tricky. Dang it. I need to look at the real remote again. Yeah. So it's, yeah, this isn't easy for sure. Actually, it's supposed to be flat in the back, so this is quite tricky indeed. I think it's better if I redo this, and because we kind of need to actually. So son of the bevel. All the way to here. I'm pressing F here. I have the add-on F2 enabled. I can really recommend it. So if you press F here and like vertice in the corner itself creates a face. So if we turn on the bevel now, yeah, it's supposed to look like this, right? And then for this we need a different bevel, so we could use a modifier for that as well, I'm pretty sure. Go in here and add another modifier and set it to weight. Then interesting. It's very interesting how the, oh right, we can't use two different weights. That's super annoying. I forgot about that. There isn't like that would actually be a really cool add-on if you had like weight layers, I guess. That would be really cool, but I think we can get away with just using the angle, right? Yeah. I'm not sure how you can actually stack different weights. It should be possible, right? I feel like that's so obvious, but honestly, I'm not sure how. Okay, let's go back to angle. Son of the clamp. Let's turn on hard normals. This now a bit more. Still more. Okay. Bit less. It needs to be perfect, otherwise it's gonna look wonky. Dang it. Okay. And then we add about the same amount of divisions. Yeah, something like this. And there we kinda have it. So we're having some shading issues here. Is this caused by the smooth angle? No. Well, the subdivision surface sort of fix it. I mean, you know, at the end we can always like apply it and then sort of fix the shading anyways, but which we probably will have to do. But yeah, this is looking good. This is looking pretty accurate. The bevel here might not be totally perfect, but yeah, I'm not gonna. I might go back to it later, but we're gonna keep this for now. You don't want to be stuck for too long on the same section. Just, you know, keep going and refine the details later. Alright, so here we also need to turn on the boolean. This looks good. This looks good. How does the subdivision? Yeah, okay. This doesn't work. Yeah, no, but it looks good. And now we have sort of the buttons. We still have this bottom flap that opens up for the batteries. And yeah, I'm gonna ignore this. The dimensions I have are correct. I think the reference is just, it's like slightly tilted. So it's, yeah. Ugh. I'm just gonna make a cube. And theoretically, we shouldn't have to do much here. Like the curvatures should be fine on their own. I'm just wondering right now how I'm going to do the beveling on these here. Yeah, interesting. I think actually I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna apply the mirroring, I'm gonna remove the boolean and all the other unnecessary stuff. And I'm also gonna apply these here. Because now we are going to select this part here, delete the rest. Now we're gonna make a straight cut here. Let's get rid of these here. Yeah. Other side as well. This will be just the Boolean object, so we don't care too much about the topology. Like the topology can't be completely messy, but this should work. Yeah, and now we can. Okay, I see. We need to. Yeah, this is really annoying. Not gonna lie. Actually, you know what? We have to edit this. Just make a mirror again. Oh, yeah. Let's make some new loops. Yeah, let's see how this works out for the Boolean. When you press Alt S for like shrink and fathom, which is kind of like a normal expansion, make sure to check offset even. Let's use a solidify here. Ignore the shading. I mean, this is just, you know, just a Boolean object. Let's see how this works out. With Booleans, the thing is you always need to make sure you have, you know, enough topology and stuff. If you don't have enough topology, it might look a bit weird. And yeah, let's move this into, let's make this like a wire for the viewport so we can actually see through it. And let's add a Boolean. let's name this maybe. This is for the battery flap. Let's see how this works. And also we need to let's actually disable the other boolean for now. Is this correctly flipped? Yep. I like it when stuff doesn't work. It might not work because this isn't. No, okay. Great. Wait, did I set it a difference? Yes, I did. Yeah, okay, sometimes you need to just press buttons. Sort of mess around with it. Yeah, I feel like this works. Yeah. This definitely works. Okay, that's great. Yeah, okay, so we have the boolean. And at this point, we can actually save stuff, and I like to make like a save collection. I also recommend obviously to do like cloud-based backups, like different iterations and stuff. But you know, I don't always want to go into my cloud and restore like a file. That's super annoying. So I just make a save because you know if I mess something up, I can go back to the base mesh. Because I'm going to apply this boolean now. Yes, that doesn't work. Yeah, we have to apply everything now actually. Yeah, we can't get around that. So we apply everything, and now I'm gonna delete this actually. Because we need to clean up this mess. This is horrible. Yeah. So I do not have hard ops installed or anything like that, unfortunately. Which would make my life a lot easier. But yeah, we actually have to go around here now and merge polygons. Vertices. Dissolve these, we don't need these. We just want to make sure we retain our original curvature. But you also don't want to destroy the Boolean's curvature, so yeah. Like, we can't erase this one, otherwise we would destroy this curvature here. However, we could merge these together. This way. Is this a good idea? Yeah, I think so. And you'll see why we saved, you know, this mesh. Because I will need it again. We will need this for like the cover flap or whatever. Like if the battery will need this mesh again. But yeah, this looks decent, I'd say. I'm not sure if we actually need this. Yeah, I don't think we need this. We're good because this is pretty much flat anyways. Right, yeah, I mean, this looks pretty promising. We cleaned this up now, and what we sort of need is like a loop that goes around this. So we need a loop to go all the way like this. And I mean, we could go and, do it manually, but we can probably do this differently. So let's try actually and extrude it like this. Yeah, so set it to offset even. Delete the inner part, we don't need it. Then select this section and extrude it inner again. And now we have a loop. Which is great because we want like a proper bevel here. Which is the reason why I did this. Now we need to clean it up though. There's some issues here for sure. We could merge this, or we could probably... we get away with this? Yeah, we can. Okay, so let's just merge this. Fuck it. Yeah, and this, you can see it. I don't know why. I don't know why Blender Foundation changed the way the auto smooth and all works. I think like it still sort of works the same way, but they did change some stuff. Like when you add auto smooth by right clicking, it adds sharp edges to the actual mesh, which I find very weird. Like I think the way it worked before was perfectly fine. Like it was great. And another thing that I really hate that they removed, or I think at least that it was removed, is you can't, when you press Shift A, you back then you were able to press like M and then C for cube, so it had like this underline here, and you could sort of use these shortcuts. But now you can't anymore, which is absolutely crazy because I have to go in and type in cube, and sometimes instead of making the mesh cube, sort of the empty pops up, which I fucking hate. It's really bad. I really loved being able to press Shift A, C, and M, and then I have a cube. It's so much faster. I have no idea why they would remove that. It's, in my opinion, a very terrible decision. And I hope I have to look for it, but there has to be an add-on that fixes that. Hopefully, because I feel like that's a really bad decision to remove that. Honestly, don't understand why they would do that. Should we merge these? Does it really matter? We can merge these. Yeah, we should. Yeah, and you definitely see here why we, save this in another collection, because we definitely will need it again. Is this my first live? Yes, this is my first live. Thanks for joining. And I'm torturing myself with this annoying object. It looks super simple, but it's actually quite... well, it's not difficult, but it's just... I don't know how to describe it. Unpleasant isn't the right word. But yeah, it's really just going around and cleaning up the mesh. Just annoying without hard-ups. Got some proper add-ons, but I don't know, I never get used to working with like hard surface add-ons. I just like to do it myself. I don't know if that's weird, but yeah. But yeah, this is like this Boolean stuff, like making Booleans into curved objects. It's all about cleaning it up afterwards. Just fixing the curvature, because this is kind of weird here. I'm not sure why this shape turned out like that. We can definitely remove this edge here. Yeah. Have some issues here as well. Like, even if you press keep offset when doing the inner, like the extrusion, it still sometimes fucks it up. Like, there are some, like Blender, in my opinion, is definitely the best tool for modeling, on like speed modeling, absolutely. But there is just some things that I feel like could be a bit better still. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, this is complaining on a huge level. So I think, okay, it's straight here, but it sort of isn't here. Okay, so we need to move this downwards. Let's see. It's actually annoying. Yeah, okay, it does go up here. My experience in hard surface? You mean with Blender or just in general? If you say with Blender, I'd say Blender hard surface, like working with Blender for hard surface stuff is amazing. And if you're talking about my professional experience, I definitely have a lot of professional experience. I've worked on quite a lot of projects, did some modeling recently. Actually, I was able to do some modeling for a Disney Plus show. Unfortunately, I can't show or talk about it. But it was like some hard surface building modelings of like European, old European buildings, which require lots of hard surface modeling. Yeah, but yeah, I've been modeling for quite some time now. But yeah, you never finish learning. It's, I feel like every time I try modeling a new like object that I've never done, I learn something new, and I feel like an idiot because I work for hours and notice that I'm doing something completely wrong. But yeah. All right, so I cleaned this up now. Now we have a nice sort of edge loop, which will allow us to actually make a proper bevel here, because if we, you know, didn't have this edge loop here, the beveling would suck. It would look terrible. We can remove these edges here as well. Yeah. You might be maybe surprised about all the n-gons, but you know, my rule of thumb is if it's flat, you know, it's totally fine to have n-gons. You can always, well, you know, the fine tuning and the cleanup will be done at the end anyways, but you know, stuff like this is an n-gon for sure, yeah, but like nobody cares, right? It gets triangulated in the background anyways, so this is just visual. And yeah, I will have to go in and clean up the edges here anyways, so yeah. Alright, now we have this done, and we still need to do the buttons, and there's so much work to do. Could also go ahead and add the boolean here at the back as well. And luckily I have a Wii remote in my hands, so I can really take a look. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make a boolean here as well. And I really miss being able to press Shift A, then M and P, or M and C. I hate that they removed that. I don't understand why they would do that. So annoying. Right, I'm just gonna do a simple bevel here by pressing Control Shift and B, which basically allows you to bevel just the vertices and not the edges. Do you have hard-ups box cutter? No, I do not have hard-ups box cutter. Should I definitely use it? Yes, I should. I don't know why. I never got into using it yet, to be honest. I know it saves a lot of time. Like, it's just the type of thing where you know it's probably better to use it, but you just, out of habit, you don't, which is pretty stupid. But I should definitely get into that, yeah, for sure. I mean, you don't need it, of course, but it definitely speeds up some workflows, so I absolutely recommend buying that. It's being annoying again. Set that to wire. It's interesting. Oh, it's flipped. Oh, this is probably flipped too. Yeah. Hate the behavior of the booleans. So annoying sometimes. Does the fast work now? No, it doesn't. Yeah. Ah, it's because of the mirror. Whoops. Alright, so I don't know how deep that goes in there. I assume. Wait. Okay. So I'm having it in my hand. It goes in, yeah, quite a bit actually. Yeah, I think something like this. Yeah, yeah, it's great that you bought it. Honestly, it's definitely a lifesaver. Like, I mean, hard surface modeling is definitely more about the experience and knowing what topology you need. First of all, what good topology is, but and how much of good topology you need, because this isn't right now isn't a perfect topology, but you don't always need it. Um, like if I were to model this so that you could bend it and stretch it and make some weird stuff with it, I would model it completely differently. But since I know I'm not gonna do that, it doesn't matter. But yeah, using box cutter is definitely recommended. Absolutely, honestly, it's like I've seen so much of it. It's a really great add-on, but again, I've I never got into it yet. So uh, I will. So don't worry. I don't want to sound like the traditional guy that refuses to use new tools. Absolutely not. I've just been too lazy to like get used to its interface and all the shortcuts and stuff. Yeah, okay, so there's some metal stuff in there which I'm gonna model way later. Yeah, I'm just looking at the Wii remote in real life right now, by the way. I think I'm gonna do the buttons next. Like when modeling stuff, I think that's a really good advice in general, not only hard surface, is you don't want to stick to the same place for too long. You kind of like want to move around your model and start making the base shapes, and then from there like going into the fine tuning. So yeah, never stick to the same place for too long. Yeah, for the buttons, I'm just gonna use booleans. This is gonna be a mess. This is booleans only today, so there's like a lot of hate for booleans in the 3D community, but I can promise you, um, every pro uses booleans because every pro knows it doesn't matter as long as it works, right? Like you can work with booleans and angons if you know what you're doing. I just know there's like a lot of people that automatically hate on anger on meshes and booleans because yeah. Sorry, reading your stuff right now, but YouTube is sort of blocking the message. Oh, oh no, don't worry about the add-ons. I I have the add-ons. I already bought it. Thanks a lot though. I have them. I just never I never got to really try it. It's like it's very interesting. Like I'm like I work as a freelancer. I make my living with this, with modeling and stuff. Um, it's very funny. You do this all day, but it's so hard. Like when you're really busy on with projects and stuff, it's super hard to learn new stuff because you don't have the energy nor the time to get into it and try new stuff. I've also been training some Houdini with some Houdini tutorials, but it's honestly it's really hard. Like working in this field for the whole day and then after that whole day doing more tutorials and learning new stuff, it's super exhausting. So I have box color, so thanks for that offer. Uh, but yeah, I just I haven't had the time, which always sounds like a stupid excuse, but it's true. You know how it is. So yeah, I'm layouting the basic shapes here for the booleans. I'm just eyeballing the positions, like I'm not making a card model. So it's fine. And what I like to do, so when I'm booleaning stuff, so I do like having my angon. It's totally fine. But the problem is if we boolean this here, like if we take the cylinders, it's obviously like searching, like it needs to attach to something. So it's searching for like the nearest vertices. And since our nearest vertices are all here in the edge, the problem we will have is that these here will all like start attaching to the same vertices, and then you might have some trouble because it's like overlaps over your hole here, and then you get some artifacts and it's not going to be pretty. So what I like to do is I like to sort of section this. So we could make a section like this with some boolean cuts, and like this and like this and so on, just so that they attach to here and we sort of isolate the booleans. So yeah, let's actually do that. I press K and then C and A, which basically makes a... Wait, I think C makes a cut through and A sort of makes the angle perfectly, like, what do you call it in English? Like it makes a right angle. Could actually also make one cut, then just slide it up and then make a bevel like this. Unnecessary tip. But sometimes I like to do that because you sort of make a cut in the middle and you want two edges. You actually want two edges that have the same distance to that middle, so you can just bevel it. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna make another cut here. Bevel it. Again. And now let's apply the mirror and separate these by loose parts. And then we make like a buttons collection, and you can actually bool using a collection. So we go in here and Set this to collection. And then we select buttons. This to bounce. If you have multiple objects and you want, to set this property for all the same, so you select all of them and then you press Alt, also you hold Alt and you press this and then you just keep holding Alt and you just select whatever display type you want. Will you recommend me hard surface detail topology channel from modeling to baking and rendering? Obviously, I would like to say my channel, but I haven't done any hard surface tutorials yet. I will. I am working on that because I feel like there isn't too much stuff. I feel like lots of channels. I don't want to be like sound rude, but I feel like lots might not have the professional experience to properly talk about topology. But there is a few channels. Let me just look that up actually for you because I have one channel that's really, really good for hard surface stuff. Give me a second. Yeah, I mean, he's quite big anyway, so Josh Gambrell, I'm gonna write it in the chat, is super good. Like, he absolutely knows what he's doing. Can absolutely recommend checking him out. And I will be doing some hard surface stuff as well. So definitely subscribe if you're interested in that. But yeah, okay, now we have our booleans. We don't have any overlaps or any artifacts. And we actually still have this up here. So this might prove to be a bit trickier. No, never mind. This is good. Let's turn off the boolean for now, because otherwise it's just laggy. And we also still need the hole for the D-pad. So the way I like to do crosses is 2 loops and then just bevel the edges. Okay, and then we also move this into the buttons collection. This model, by the way, when it's done, will be available for free using the Blender Kit add-on. If you don't know about the Blender Kit add-on, it's really, really nice. It's basically an add-on that gives you access to a library made by creators, like just random creators, basically just Blender users in the community, makes models and they get uploaded and they get sort of verified by the people that run Blender Kit. And yeah, you actually earn a bit. I also have my own models if you're interested. I have a few of my own models. I think my most popular one is the Millennium Falcon. All my models are available with the free Blender Kit version. Some models can only be downloaded if you pay for the add-on, but mine are all free. And I have a few. I have this Millennium Falcon that I made, and also my Subaru is on there as well. And I have like I made like some rice. I'm not sure if, yeah, I made like some rice and some procedural rice, mind you, and some fries, which have a procedural shader, so you can animate the cooking and crispiness. So I have some stuff out there if you want to check that out. But yeah, let's go back to the Wii remote. Assume this is probably flipped. Yeah. When in doubt, flip the normals. Yeah. This is starting to look very promising. Uh, yeah, okay, so we have the buttons, the LEDs I'll probably do later. Because we need to build those as well. And the speakers, right? There's still the speakers. Yeah, looks good. Collection. Alright, then let's add another boolean for that. Yeah, looks great. Alright, yeah, I think that's enough for today, to be honest. This took now around 1.5 hours. I think we're nice on track. And yeah, for the next time, I'll probably be starting with adding the buttons. I'm probably doing the lining here. And also we need to add this battery flap. But yeah, thanks for watching the stream and have a nice day.